What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into something. How the most unethical TV show was born. Unethical TV show. The most unethical TV show. Get over, show Joey Engelman all the love of the world. I'm not scrolling down any further because I'm not supposed to get any kind of hints as to what this is to. They don't want me to see certain things. So go show the love 100%. The link's inside the description. Let's see what we got.
25 patients in need of a kidney transplant compete for the organs of a terminally ill woman. You're probably...
There it is in a nutshell, huh? Just like that. What about the non-winners? Hey, congratulations. You did win. Now you get to die. This already sounds absolutely horrifying.
Probably familiar with reality shows made by Endemol like Fear Factor and Big Brother, but they had folks questioning if reality TV had gone too far with their newest program, The Great Donor Show, which was set to air in the Netherlands on June 1st, 2007. The show involved Lisa, a 37-year-old woman with an inoperable brain tumor, deciding on who she will be donating a kidney to, and to help her with this decision, she'll be receiving text messages with advice from viewers at home. Leading up to The Great Donor Show, it received widespread criticism, and the show was deemed inappropriate, tasteless, and unethical.
I wonder why. I wonder why it was called any of those things. Have we really sunk this far as humans?
Bad press got so loud, the Prime Minister of the Netherlands had to address it, pleading for the network to not air this show. And it begs the question, what leads a network to program such a morbid game show? Once you start diving into the full scope, it's clear that there was even more at stake here than a dying woman's kidney. This is the story of the most unethical TV show ever. To truly understand everything at play here, we need to go back to the year 1976. It started with a car accident. Bart de Graaf was a 9-year-old boy who was involved in a life-altering car accident. The chronic kidney failure he suffered from the accident led to a growth disorder that gave Bart the permanent appearance of a young kid even as he got older. But this didn't stop him from going after his dreams of being on television. Bart used his childlike appearance as an instrument for his career, eventually going on to create his own public broadcasting network, BNN, or Bart's News Network. BNN's programming was targeted at teenagers and young adults, and it was known to air rebellious, controversial subject matter. For example, they had one show, Try Before You Die, where presenters attempted things that they think people should do at least once in their life. The show made headlines when one presenter went streaking during a quarterfinals match at Wimbledon. Bart was the lovable face of the network and regularly...
No cap though, it sounds like a fun network. It sounds like they're ready to get down and gritty.
He got in on the action himself. This is him vandalizing a gas station just to see what would happen. When law enforcement arrived, even they couldn't be mad at him. Don't worry, Bart paid for the window.
Nah, hold on.
The same year Bart founded BNN, he also received a donor kidney after spending years on a waiting list, which let him live a relatively normal life for a while. My impression of Bart and his network is limited because I didn't grow up in the Netherlands, so I went on Reddit to talk with those who did. One Redditor said, BNN did things nobody else did at the time. At times he struck gold, other times he missed the mark completely, but he did earn his place in the history of Dutch TV. As Bart's stardom grew, his health issues began to resurface. A short 2 years after Bart received a donor organ, his body began rejecting the kidney and his health deteriorated quickly. On Saturday, May 25th, 2002, after being in the hospital for weeks with peritonitis, Bart passed away at the age of 35. Bart's passing devastated his coworkers and viewers, and it put a spotlight on a serious issue in a country that had one of the lowest donor rates in all of Europe. A country where the mortality rate while waiting for an organ transplant was between 15 and 30%. And at the time of the Great Donor Show's fiasco, about 40,000 patients across the EU were in search of an organ donor, with 200 people in the Netherlands dying annually while waiting for a kidney. While citizens begged politicians for years to do something about the waiting list, nothing seemed to change. So when a grieving network with a reputation for anarchy put their heads together, one question came to mind. What would Bart do? We now travel ahead 5 years after Bart's passing to May 2007, when Bart's News Network, now renamed to Bart's Never-Ending Network, still BNN for short, announces the Bart DeGraff Donor Evening, soon renamed to The Great Donor Show, a reality program with the kind of...
Okay, so in one hand, it seemed like the worst thing in the world, but on the other hand, it obviously did shine a light on some things. It obviously did bring to the forefront that, hey, there's a severe lack of donors. I've been a donor since I was old enough to drive a car. Like, if something happens to me, by all means, I hope someone else gets to live from it. But at the same time, I can see the whole unethical piece about it, because to be able to choose who lives and who doesn't, there's something morally corrupt about that. I don't know.
The premise that brings almost universal backlash.
The makers of Big Brother have done it again.
3 people who need a new kidney.
This is cynical exploitation.
Unethical and tasteless.
The Big Donor Show, that's raising all types of ethical questions.
This television show is exploiting people's desperation. Then we should be able to volunteer for the slave trade, or as long as we donate the money to charity.
Has reality TV gone too far, too far, too far, too far?
The optics of the Great Donor Show were so bad, the Prime Minister of the Netherlands had to address it. He said he deeply regrets that BNN will broadcast the Great Donor Show on Friday evening. The controversial program does not benefit the image of the Netherlands abroad. We can profile ourselves in a better way, and this does not help get more organ donors. And it's one thing to make a spectacle over these participants needing a kidney, but to have it all go down via reality game show and get the whole country meddling into their health matters through text messages. These crowdsourced polling campaigns have always been a great idea if you ask anyone hoping for pure chaos. This can't be the way we do this. But in a way, this is exactly the way we do this. Several experts noted that the Great Donor Show was in many aspects comparable to the popularity contests that happen all the time on sites like matchingdonors.com, where people looking for organs post their pictures and their stories, hoping a potential donor will choose them.
I definitely didn't even know that existed. We still do the whole exploiting thing constantly on reality TV. There's some reality TV shows out there that I just can't stand. Why create a bunch of drama? Why air it all out there for everybody in the world to see, like some sort of entertainment? There's some things that I believe help should just be offered to certain people. Programs should be set up for certain people. I don't think we need a television network to make a whole bunch of money exploiting other people's disabilities, exploiting people's relationships, destroying people's relationships. It's crazy. We have this crazy, chaotic need to just upheave everything all the time, to just destroy things for fun. And it makes no sense to me how many people sit there mindlessly and watch these kind of shows. I'm just like, wow, it's amazing to me the things that people will watch.
It is for the monthly membership price of $295. Tom Simon was one of those donors. He ran a blog, The Kidney Chronicles, for a while, where he tracked his recent kidney donation to Brenda. When he was asked about his thoughts on the Great Donor Show, he said, "The game show thing has a certain perverse appeal to me. How many centipedes do you think I could have gotten Brenda to eat on television for her to win my kidney?" Of course, we'd all be rubbed the wrong way to think that such a thing like human organs should go to the best looking, or the highest bidder, or who can eat the most bugs. And in the US today, there are more than 100,000 people waiting for an organ transplant. And every 9 minutes, another patient is added to that national transplant waiting list. And every day, 17 people on that waiting list pass away. And while 95% of US adults support organ donation, only 54% are actual registered donors. So with all this in mind,
it's not hard to do, ladies and gentlemen, to register to become a donor. It really isn't. And what do you need it for? If you passing can give someone else a way to live on, why wouldn't you want to bless somebody with that? If I don't need it anymore, I don't need any of my physical possessions or my body, by all means, if someone else can gain from it, if someone else can go out there and be successful, change the world a little bit, why not? That's the ultimate question. Why not? You're not going to feel it.
on the ethics of the Great Donor Show, when some folks argued that it might not be such a bad thing to bring out that human element and add a touch of sensationalism to the cause. It makes you think, yeah, fair point. And no matter how much effort the government put into preventing the Great Donor Show from airing, there really wasn't anything they could legally do to ban the broadcast. So after all the outcry and debating and failed attempts to intervene by the government, the night of June 1st, 2007 arrives, and all eyes are on Bart's never-ending network as the Great Donor Show goes live.
I gotta say, this man,
It's the most
he did some amazing research to be able to put this video together. It's probably one of the most easy videos to follow along with. He does it in such a way that you stay interested. I forgot we were doing a reaction there for a minute. It's just, I'm not here. This is crazy to me that this was ever even a thing, and I'm glad that I'm glad people are out there putting it out there. Like, hey, at what point do we draw the line between, okay, this is okay, but that's not? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Everybody's hearing my thoughts. I want to hear some of yours. Tell me down below what the show made you think of. Definitely go over and show Joey Engelman the love, because, hey, this is very, very intriguing, and it's done in such a cool way.
festive time of the year, and HelloFresh is here to help make the most of every moment. From holiday hosting to dinners during busy weeknights, you can count on HelloFresh to deliver fresh ingredients and seasonal recipes. Quality is HelloFresh's priority. Ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. And if you're short on time, HelloFresh has quick and easy options like 20-minute meals and easy cleanup dishes. Big on flavor and easy on effort, these time-saving solutions mean more time with friends and family around the holidays. My girlfriend and I have been using HelloFresh for months now, and it's been such a game changer for us. We were those people that always lived off microwaved meals and never thought we'd branch out from there, but HelloFresh comes in every week with everything we need to make dinners that are so delicious. Every dish we try is better than the last, with instructions that are easy to follow even for me. And it's become a fun quality time for us that we look forward to every night too. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code JoeyEngelman18 for 18 free meals plus free shipping. And make sure you spell my last
I don't know how old this ad is. Probably pretty old. This has probably been out there a year ago. So that might not be the case anymore.
All the time, the E comes before the L. All right. The show opens with the host, Patrick Lodiers, saying that today is a special day.
How many people were watching this show? Even the people that hated it were probably tuned in just so that they could criticize.
In television history, because tonight something is going to happen that has never been done before, and that has not gone unnoticed in the House of Representatives, throughout the Netherlands, and far beyond. Every year, an average of 200 people die because they do not receive an organ in time, and here in the studio are also about 200 people. The number of adults who do not want to be a donor has doubled in recent years, and the average waiting time for a kidney is currently 4.5 years. That can be halved if the number of donors doubles, and let's all go for that tonight. Enough talk, time for the show. Lisa has already narrowed the 25 potential kidney recipients down to 3 people: Esther Claire, Vincent, and Charlotte. All 3 of them have been on the waiting list for a new kidney for a goddamn long time. And luckily, we have found someone who is willing to donate one of her 2 kidneys. She grants another a long and healthy life because she no longer has that prospect. As I mentioned before, viewers were asked to give advice via text messages to Lisa, and the host states that the profit made by the text messages would be given to the Dutch Kidney Foundation. So at least there's that. After listening to the stories of the 3 finalists and the struggles they've faced, now it's time for Lisa to eliminate one of the hopeful patients. Lisa laments that it feels like playing God. She makes the decision to
exactly what would make it be not moral.
to eliminate Esther Claire, and explains the reason was because she already has a good life. A brutal decision, and Esther Claire says that it was what she expected to happen. We're now down to the final 2 contestants, Vincent and Charlotte. The host emphasizes, one of you will extend their lives with probably 23 years. The gravity of the situation continues to build as the fateful moment comes to a crescendo with Lisa announcing who she'd be giving her kidney to. But seconds before Lisa can name her winner, the host stops everything, faces the audience at home, and drops a bombshell. Wait a minute, I would like a timeout. because I would like to tell everyone again why we're doing this. Well, this is because there is something terribly wrong with the organ donation in our country. There are 1,400 people on the waiting list for an organ, while their chance to receive an organ is very small. However, we can change that by filling in a donor form. Tonight, we won't give away a kidney. Even we think that's wrong. And Lisa, or do I have to say Leonie, is an actress and is very healthy. Esther Claire, Vincent, and Charlotte are in on this conspiracy.
Wow, that changes the entire thing. A giant publicity stunt, all in the name of organ donation. Can you hate it then? I could definitely see what the fuss was all about up to that point.
As well. However, they aren't actors. They are 3 real kidney patients, and the story they've been telling is their own true story. The place erupts in applause. The contestants all share smiles and hugs, relieved they can finally break the act. Same here, I've been holding this in the whole time. Then they share why they participated in this, how they wanted to make the world jolt awake, and how they've always wanted to make
Well,
clear
you did a good job of jolting the world awake.
or how big the problems are. Then the host speaks directly to their government. I would like to talk with our members of parliament. Last Tuesday, everyone was talking about this television show, that there should be something done to ban this show. Do something about the waiting list, and talk about it with the same comments and indignation as last Tuesday. And ask the minister and yourself, what do you think of the long waiting list for an organ? Then it cuts to snippets of angry parliament members discussing the show before it was revealed to be a hoax. Possibly my favorite conversation is this one. A reporter asks a parliament member, are you an organ donor? And they reply, no, however, I expected you would ask this. I will fill in a form later this week. And then they ask, so is the big donor show useful? And they reply, well, at least one new donor. It cuts back to the live studio with the echoes of laughter from the late Bart de Graaf himself. The program ends with the host saying, ladies and gentlemen, this was the big donor show, and I can assure you there won't be a sequel. But this one night only television event would remain the talk of the country for a lot longer than one evening.
Holy crap.
Some fascinating breaking news coming out of the Netherlands. That program, which you're seeing the live pictures of coming out of the Netherlands, it was a hoax.
Breaking news.
A hoax, hell, it was a publicity stunt, and that damn show probably did its job.
Now, an update to the story we've been following on CNN this week. It's been revealed that the Dutch television show purporting to feature a dying woman deciding who will receive one of her kidneys is a hoax.
We had the commercials, we had the flyers, we had the posters. It doesn't help. So something very drastic was needed.
They went for the stars with the drastic.
Bleek het hele opzet vals te zijn. We're trying to get this issue into the public domain. They've succeeded, haven't they?
Well, they certainly did. You've only got to look around me here.
I thought it was brilliant, really.
Very glad that it's a joke. Nobody thought before that it was a joke. Now the responsibility is going back to the politic.
The director of Endemol clarified, I do understand the massive outrage very well. It was necessary to get the shortage of donors back on the political agenda. Which leads me to the big question about the big donor show. Did it work? The impact of the Great Donor Show was basically immediate. Within a couple hours after the show ended, BNN received donor application requests from 12,000 viewers. By the following day, donor forms were requested across the country by over 30,000 people. And 48 hours after the show, the donor form request number had reached 50,000 people. This show that was once seen as an international disgrace was now being celebrated. In January the following year, the Great Donor Show's big reveal as a hoax was voted the best Dutch TV moment of the year, and the show won an international Emmy for
of a lifetime
unscripted entertainment. Political opinion shifted too. The Dutch education minister praised the Great Donor Show as a clever approach to bring attention to the shortage of donors and called it a fantastic stunt. However, a spokesperson for the health ministry was not as impressed, saying this is not the proper way to get.
Well, obviously he was wrong.
More donors. So you can't win them all over, I guess. He's kind of right, though. This is not a sustainable way to get more donors. The real long-term answer was always going to come back to government legislation. If the issue is not getting enough people to opt into the organ donorship, how about changing to an opt-out system? Hold that thought for 11 years. In February 2018, the Dutch government passed a law that considers all adult citizens or
that's brilliant. That's what should be done everywhere.
Organ donors unless they actively opt out by sending in a form. The law was accepted after intense debate with 38 votes in favor and 36 against. 10 years after the Great Donor Show, 15 years after the passing of Bart de Graaf, this law and the culmination of decades of political battles all came down to one vote. The amended Donor Act then officially went into effect 2 years after that on July 1st, 2020. With the amended Donor Act, everybody ages 18 and older are automatically added to the donor register, which records everyone's choice regarding donation of organs and tissues after death. Let's be real, it's not clear if the Great Donor Show was one of the reasons why the Netherlands went from opt-in to opt-out, but I agree with this Redditor who believes it had to have done something to move the needle. As for the participants of the show who were in need of kidney donations, as of 2020, all 3 are still alive. Charlotte was on a talk show in 2012 to discuss the impact of the Great Donor Show, and at that time was still hoping for a kidney donor. Vincent has worked on more awareness campaigns for kidney diseases and is also in a band. Esther Claire did a TED Talk in 2016 and wrote a children's book inspired by her experiences. Bart's never-ending network did end
we know that it didn't really dissolve like he's about to say.
Up coming to an end when it was dissolved in 2014, and Bart's legacy lives on with the help of his sister, who launched a YouTube channel with old TV programs and other videos of Bart. In an interview, she said, "In this way, I hope that he will also be known among a younger audience. There's an entire generation that did not know him. Bart has meant a lot to Dutch television." She also sees this channel as a way to revive him a little. In the description of this video, I'll have the link to his channel as well as a link to the Bart Foundation, which helps young people with physical disabilities to set up their own business. There will also be a few links with info on how you can become an organ donor yourself. And if you're looking for more content from me, might I suggest this video I made where we talk about movies that broke insane world records. While you consider clicking that, I'd love to thank all my YouTube crew members for helping fund this channel, and a big ol' shout out to Ashley for being a producer. If you'd like to be a crew member, click the join button, and at the least, consider subscribing. Let's do this again sometime.
It's absolutely a brilliant way to learn about something that'll go down in TV history, not even just Dutch TV history. That's insane. A giant publicity stunt for a good cause. How can you hate it after that? I want to know how many people were in tears when it came to the end, because you damn near almost got me there. That's just a big-hearted thing to do. There's still definitely a lot of people out there that could use a transplant and still not enough donors. I think the whole changing to the opt-out program, personally, I think it's genius. Because why not? How hard is it for you to opt out if you really, really don't want it? How many more donor organs would be out there for people to get? You can show Joey Engelman all the love in the world. Go check out the rest of his content. Absolutely a fascinating walk through it. Yeah, definitely a fan now, even though at first I was not feeling it. But yeah, 100% a beautiful thing to do. Smash the like button if you liked it, the dislike button, but I won't believe you. Tell the next one of my Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe. Consider being a donor yourself. I love you to the moon and back. Peace.